Look, somehow we made this work. Somehow, some way. I can't be in my normal spot. I'm so mad right now. I'm so angry. You have no idea how angry I am right now.
We're here together. You can't be angry anymore.
Yeah, this switchover has been a nightmare for me. I like my Nookie Blankie. I just did not like my Nookie Blankie to be $50 fucking a month.
Yeah, I mean, just embrace it. It is what it is. You'll get there. It takes time. It's okay.
All right, Matthew, how are you?
Oh, pretty good. How are you?
I've been better.
All right. I mean, aside from stream stuff.
Oh, besides some stream stuff, I've also been better. But I'm here. I'm ready to. I wasn't sure if Beard was going to make it or when he was going to make it because he was locked in a horrible Uno duel to the death.
Yeah, I've smoked him. No mercy. Uno, no mercy.
No mercy or no mercy?
No mercy. It's an actual game. There's like additional power-ups and things.
Oh, whoa.
Like stacking is official. So there's +4s, but there's also reverse +4s and +6s and +10s. And there's a mercy rule. If you get 25 cards in your hand, you're out.
You're just done. You're done.
So you can beat people, but you can also defeat people.
Oh.
Well, how are you? Even though I just saw you yesterday.
Just as well as yesterday. I got to go to a little holiday shindig last night, which was a hoot, and see some old friends from grad school. A couple that were in town that live in Cincinnati, and got to see their kids. So, do I have a picture? I have a picture of when we first started doing this holiday party. In my left hand, I wrote Soren's college fund, and we put it on a jar, and my friend Hans still has it on his bar, and his son is in high school now, so he's like, it has not grown as much as maybe we would have liked, but
I don't know if I've ever told you, but the fact you have a friend named Hans makes me really stupidly happy for some reason.
Yeah. Hans.
Mm-hmm. All right, Beard.
Yeah.
Save us from this den of iniquity. Oh, Matt, I didn't ask you. Did you get any super sweet swag?
I mean, I just get stuff from my mom pretty much. So, and she just orders it online and it gets here when it gets here. So it's been arriving. So yeah, I mean, I just got the usual, it's books and stuff is usually what I ask her for, books and DVDs. So yeah.
Any sweet reads? Any sweet reads then?
I haven't been keeping up on the reading. Hopefully we'll be able to do some of that later today.
No, I just meant did you receive any books that you were looking forward to reading?
Well, I wouldn't ask for them if it wasn't, but I'm trying to think if there's anything.
Matt making things as hard as fucking possible.
I wasn't prepared.
Give us the name Lebowski.
Wasn't prepared, man.
I wasn't prepared to be asked simple questions. This is some bullshit.
Be general topical things. You don't have to give up the goods, baby.
Exactly. Yeah, a bunch more Donald Westlake stuff. I've been, basically accumulating his entire bibliography, so I'm excited to get to those whenever I do. I'm trying to think. I got some comics. We'll see what else comes along there. I did throw the Romnibuses on that list, so I'll be interested to see if those come along or not.
The Romnibus, hell yeah.
Yes.
I don't know that I've ever read any Donald Westlake.
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh, really? Well, I got lots of it if you want to borrow any. I mean.
Oh. Pen names.
Yeah, Richard Stark is where I got into
Dortmunder.
Yeah, the Dortmunder stuff is great, and then the Parker stuff is great. But I've also enjoyed a number of the just one-off type stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm unfamiliar.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
I still don't know
I'm a
that. I
Philistine.
still don't know that I've read. This is exciting. I like
He's
this.
had a bunch of stuff adapted into movies. I know I've lent out the comics based on the Parker stuff, but I can't remember if it's made it to you guys.
Why does the Parker stuff sound so?
Oh,
Darwin Cook adapted the Parker books.
yes,
Before he passed.
yes, and I've read those. That's why it's ringing a bell.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, he did the first few.
Yeah,
before he
3 or
passed.
4 maybe. Something like that.
More. And then they've been adapted into various movies, but I don't think that Westlake let them call any of them Parker. Maybe once. And some of the Dortmunder books got adapted too.
Oh, okay. Damn. Okay, so Point Blank, the Split,
Point Blank, Get Carter,
Cops and Robbers, The Outfit.
Yeah, okay, I'm
Disney
familiar
Body,
with the person.
Payback.
They write in a very similar style to Elmore Leonard.
Yeah, there's
There's some definitive crossover style
for sure
and writing. Yeah, I mean I don't say that in a bad way.
Right.
Okay. Oh, the Grifters. Yeah, got it.
Yeah, no, I'm a big Westlake fan.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
Are you an Elmore Leonard fan, Matt?
I have not read any Leonard yet, but that's more just because I haven't gotten around to it. Because I've enjoyed many things that have been adapted from his work.
Well, if you want to do a swapsies, I have a lot of Elmore Leonard.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah,
Beard is a Leonard guy.
Yeah, you just if there's anything that you're curious to check out, I can dig it out. Otherwise, I can just give you a selection.
Yeah. Now, are you reading Al Ewing's Metamorpho?
I am.
Is it as good as I've heard?
I enjoyed the first issue, but I think it's going to need some more to really get going. But yes, it captures Metamorpho and supporting cast and such. I'm interested to see where it goes.
I'm not overly familiar with the female Metamorpho. I know they tried to make her a thing in the New 52, or what was it? What was the one with Pandora? Which reboot was that?
Yeah, that was the New 52.
Yeah. I know they tried to make her a thing in that, and I just...
Yeah, I mean, well, I think it's, and I'm glad they're doing it here because for a couple different reasons, of course, given the person behind it. But I feel like for a while there, in limbo, and then they brought her back in that Sandman issue or whatever, where she was trying to kill herself, couldn't, and death got involved and stuff like that. It's so I feel like that kind of was oh no, she's done. That was the last
off the table.
And but since Gaiman's piece of shit, and the character's interesting, fuck that.
Yes. Yeah, is there a guy who has fallen in silence more than Neil Gaiman of late?
I mean, not that I know about, but
boy, talk about a guy who was on top of the world with a lot of adaptations, and it sounded like a lot more coming, and then all of a sudden it was oh, by the way, Neil Gaiman's a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
Why can't we have nice things?
We can. We just need to be careful.
Why can't we have nice things from creators that we like rather than turning out to be awful? With the exception, don't ruin this for me, Grant Morrison. Do not ruin this for me. Don't make me regret this in 2 years. I mean, they're either what we've got now is either people who we enjoyed their work, and then it turned out they hated their work the whole time, the curmudgeon that is Alan Moore.
He loved his work. He just
really,
yeah, he really did, but he doesn't want to talk about it anymore because he's moved on to other stuff, and the industry fucked him. So I don't, I don't blame him.
Big Al needs to remember that industry fucks everyone, unless you're setting in an in an EIO.
But that's not
EIC.
That's not an excuse.
No, it's not. But he also, I mean, he doesn't hate his work as much as someone like Garth Ennis, but who just like despises superheroes but writes superheroes. But I also think Alan Moore has turned into fucking Angry Man Yells at Clouds constantly. Like at no point do I hear him ever speak with any type of reverence for anything he's done. It's constantly.
That's because...
and also though the thing to remember, Matt, is if he wants to get away from that, that's amazing. I'm very all about that. Write something as memorable as what you wrote in that medium.
Have you read any of his stuff? Do you know?
No, I haven't, but none of it I've seen has gotten as much attention as the things he wrote in that other medium.
Sure, but is that the fault of the work or the media and publishing world in which we exist? I don't know.
You'd think it'd be the other way around because he's a known quantity and he's not an unknown author. You'd think that they would push a book he wrote to the moon.
Well, they don't push anybody's books anymore, but
fair. I'm just saying, Angry Alan needs to settle thyself just a tiny bit.
I think he is unfairly painted as angry because whenever anybody from the comics world tries to interact with him, it's about comics, which he doesn't want to talk about. So I would be pissed about that as well.
Well, if you do that long enough, no one will want to interact with you, especially not your fans.
Yeah, and I don't think that would be a huge problem with.
I don't think he would give a shit anyway, and that's why I'm saying he doesn't like his work, because he's just kind of like, well, fuck you guys. And we can go back and forth on this all day. It's kind of, I have hot takes on certain people, like Stan Lee. I know I'm not going to get people to agree with me, and that's fine. I just think
you really love him and respect him.
Alan Moore?
No, Stan Lee.
I do know where you live.
I don't think Stan Lee's a moral as shithead is a hot take anymore.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, it's not. But he also gave something to the industry at the time that it was very much needed. So
yeah, he was funky. He was Funky Flashman. He made sure that there was publicity constantly. The problem with Stan is Stan also bought Stan's own bullshit and never, ever, ever wanted to give credit to anybody else.
Yeah, and that's not atypical of the industry either. I mean,
no, definitely not. But Stan, set that standard. That's the problem with it.
Oh no. Yeah, he was not alone in that by any means. That was, if anything, him actually elevating the other people working on the books was kind of a unique thing.
Although James has just checked out, he's opening toys.
I mean, he's like, I don't care what you have to say after you didn't pause for a comic beat after you said standard, talking about Stan Lee. I have no respect for either of you anymore.
I had to get it in because I knew Matt was going to come out.
No, it's not. Standard. It's funny.
My thing with Stan has always been
comedy.
He took credit for work that wasn't his.
Yep, absolutely.
And once we found that out about Bill Finger and oh God, see, I can't remember the other guy's name.
Larry Thumb.
Who was Matt? You'll remember. Who was the other guy that did Batman? That did all the work?
You guys are going to be Angry Man Yells at Cloud today, and I'm going to be cheap.
No, I'm not going to be Angry Man. Bob Kane and Bill Finger.
Oh yeah,
it's the same to me. It's once people figured out that Bob Kane was a giant turd, we heard more and more about Bill Finger. The world found out Stan Lee was a giant turd, and it's kind of like, well, the only people that really got any type of retroactive accolades. Oh, is that from the same line as the ghost you got me?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So this is from that line, and this is from the micro.
Beard knew exactly how to throw us off track, Matt.
Line. So this is, see how it's like chunkier and like more play, and then this is the micro squadrons one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to figure out how to hang that stuff from my ceiling and not have it fall out.
Matt, don't worry. I didn't get you toys for Christmas. You don't have to worry about how to hang them.
I don't remember what I got Matt for Christmas. Matt, what did I get you for Christmas?
We haven't exchanged.
Yeah, I know. I don't even remember. Did you guys do it early? I don't remember. Well, it went in waves because I remember I gave like.
Yeah, he gave me. Definitely gave me.
Shit,
yeah, you gave early because you gave me the Legos early.
Yeah.
Well, no, I wasn't there that day.
I gave you stuff the same day I gave Colin stuff.
Yeah, and Matt wasn't there that day.
Matt,
I don't know that we've done
before that.
I don't think gave me something the week before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I wasn't.
You could tell how good it was because Matt's like, it was something. I don't remember.
I'm just blanking.
I gave it and I can't remember what it was. So, all right, Beard, what do you got for us? What are you bringing something to the table today, or are you?
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to talk about the world building, either prep school of the month or like a regular stream. And I'd like to get thoughts on it because the big thing that I'd like to do. I mean, honestly, I think it's hard to do like this. Just because of the cards, right? I mean, we can do it, and we did that. I mean, we've done it in the past where we've kind of gone through the cards and like we've made decisions together, and then kind of like gone through. And I think I'm totally happy to do that. But I think I would also like to look at two things. One is the PDF or the kind of traveler's guide format, where you have like a player's guide and you have a game master's guide, which has more kind of secrets and things like that, and then just kind of like open-ended prompts. The other thing we talked about yesterday, Matt, was when I was looking for the DM-less games. There's a ton of DM-less games, Fiasco and stuff like that, but most of them don't actually fall into like a D&D or a kind of like very kind of typical D20 format. And so I was looking for something like that to, play with either my group, or I played with like two architecture friends. And we played this amazing box from that Ben offered up from Limitless Games. And it's three quests. Each should take kind of like a typical RPG session, like 3 to 4 hours. And the premise is there's a start card and an end card to each of the three quests that are in this like arc in this box. And then every player gets a set of 5 cards, and they have like 5 different types. It's like combat, role play, puzzle, skill, and wild card. And everybody rolls a d20, and there's like 5 open slots between the start and the end, or however many you want. But they're built for 5-person parties. And so the idea is you choose one, and whoever rolls highest on the d20, they get to choose which slot it goes in through 1 through 5. So one of the things, or the prompt for one of the things going to happen. It's only like kind of a 2-sentence setup, so you don't actually know kind of like what the combat's going to be or what the role play is going to be. It's just kind of like a little prompt setup, and then you go through and you play through it, and there's a book that comes with it. It's like a little gazetteer where you like turn to it, and it's like a choose your own adventure. Like on the bottom of the card, it'll be like quest 1 or like box 1, quest 1, number 4, turn to page 16, and you go there and it'll have like more like a paragraph or so of explanation to kind of set the scene for whatever it is. And then if there's combat, there'll be, stat blocks for people, or if there's like, role play, but it could turn into combat or something like that. And it's just like a 1-page, like super simple thing. And yeah, 3 of us played, 2 of us who had run before, and 1 who'd only maybe played a couple times in his life. And it was super, super accessible. And I was just thinking about like what we do for this, and like what we do with all of these, adventures we've run and like settings we've created. I just thought that like a fun challenge for this year would be to put something like that together and have somebody else run it during Extra Life.
Did you want? Okay, so thinking in that fashion, did you then want to make something and then build it into that format? Is that kind of the goal?
Yeah, I think so. I think that there's, like I said, there's kind of there's probably 3 ways to go about it. I mean, one is to take a setting that we already have, like Drakewind Falls or parts of the known world, or, settings from, 4th edition, all of that writing you already had, and like talk about like how do we translate that? If we were to, kind of like break that down, if we were to like break down the limitless boxes, or we were to break down these either Soddenweld or Seasong Islands, like how would we break that down into a simple, like 5 location setting, like Seasong or Soddenweld, where there's like kind of 5 major towns, islands, whatever. And like, what would that look like? And then, how do we create, like go through all of our NPCs and go, okay, like let's put these people into a format similar to kind of that kind of traveler's guide, where you'd be like, oh yeah, you could go here and do that. And then in like the kind of game master's guide, it would have like more information about like, how do you play this? Who is this? Who is this person? If this was being played in a movie, it's, this is a suggestion for kind of a voice or a personality. And I think that's kind of one way we can do about it. The other way we could do about it is we could, start from scratch and create a setting for, with the intention of doing something like Limitless, where it's like just these cards, and there's, 25 different cards, like 5 of each, type of encounter, and try to essentially like build a, just a one, even just start with, let's make 1 quest, right? So 25 different prompts, 5 for each of the typologies, and then kind of a start or an end to this prompt. So we're essentially kind of like writing that thing. And then, and then I think that the other, part of this that I'm, maybe most inclined to do, but maybe least inclined to do online, would be, using the story engine deck, the world building deck, and the lore masters deck, and kind of building that out. And so, thinking about that, I think that that's kind of like when we do reverse classroom teaching, where we say, hey, here's a lecture that's already been recorded. Watch the lecture. And then when we come into class, let's actually like do the thing, or like, let's spend, if we only have an hour and 15 minutes, or an hour and a half to talk about it, rather than giving an hour and 15-minute long lecture and then having 15 minutes to chat.
Sure.
Your homework, rather than doing homework afterwards, is your homework is beforehand. Like we would get together maybe offline and do this thing and get it in a format, once a month, that we could present to people, share with each other, share with people that weren't able to make the one like in person, let's like actually play with the cards session, and like, build this out, like share it out with people, get suggestions about, what this fits best in, is this is this of those headings, is this a wild card? Is it a role play? Is it a combat? Is it a skill check? Is it a puzzle? And then we could like, build those things out a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I think that that's my idea. So it'd basically be kind of maybe twice a month, once offline, with just like whoever from the brain trust or lack of brain trust wants to, get together and do that, and maybe have dinner or something, some Friday or Saturday or something, and then once a month, maybe that weekend, or maybe another weekend, a couple of weeks later, we could run it on prep school and be like, we could get it all formatted afterwards in the like week or two afterwards, and then share it and start to kind of build it out. And I was thinking I would do it, in Notion, so like we could share it and then we could like publish, what's going on, because you can like see it in a very simple, kind of WordPress style format. So like I do that with Oops All Bards with Kismet. When I do
use that all the time, like that's a Mike Shea thing, and
yeah,
I
absolutely.
think I
That's
showed you that, and then you were like, "This is amazing. Why are you not using this?"
Yeah, and I use it beyond. In fact, I probably use it less so for the like lazy DM prep page, even though I still do those when I have the time, and more for just like, oh, I introduced a new NPC, I gotta like write down. It helps me keep them straight too. Like if I tag them not only with like NPC, but then I tag them with like where they are, or if they have a like a location like a bar or a shop or something like that. I'll like create those with different tags. So then when I'm like back in that locale, I can like just, be like, okay, this island, and it brings up everything associated with that, locations, NPCs, things like that. And then I can like click, NPCs, this island, and I can see like who I'm interacting with. And then, for me, because I like doing the voices, I usually have little like cues, like, this is, Jeff Bridges doing the dude, or this is, like,
yeah,
that's something I want to like. I think Matt and I talked about this before, of doing potentially as well, is trying to have people who do voices like just come on and talk about like doing voices, because I think that's such an interesting skill that, I mean, I fake, but I do not have like the overall.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we all have 5 voices, right? We have like gruff, we have Cockney, we have bad Australian,
My Australian is real bad.
you know, all right. But I mean, that's to me, essentially, that's kind of what we all kind of recycle those, and it's really hard for me. Like I said, I've been doing Tolkien, and the dwarves in the Hobbit are okay because you can kind of like meld them together. Um, there's only really maybe 3 or 4, Gloin and Thorin, and maybe Feely and Keely. But there aren't, there's not a whole lot of kind of unique dialogue in there. But when you get into Lord of the Rings, and you're doing the 4 hobbits, I can, and then like the additional hobbits like in the first book of Fellowship, I can't tell you how often I screw up Merry and Pippin in my head. Like I just can't keep them straight. I can't keep the like little accents straight, even though I can see them and I can see a lot of them.
They're inextricably tied together though too.
I know, but when we're talking about like talking with someone who does voices, like I think we talked about this before. Like Andy Serkis was talking about like when he does Lord of the Rings, he like positions the microphone differently, or his body in relationship to the microphone to like get that feeling. Like all of the hobbits are short, like Gimli, he like puts the microphone up here, so he's actually like talking up to it. And like when he's doing Lord Elrond, he does his hand like this, so he like draws it out, like that kind of like highfalutin elven thing. It's just really interesting to kind of think about, how people actually accomplish keeping it straight. Because I think he said there's like 125 different voices, and he's like, yeah, some of those are just recycled or throwaway voices, but the ones that need to be distinct and need to be consistent.
Did you watch any of any of the things that Kevin Durant did when he was talking about finding the voice and the posture for Maximus in the last well, not the last, but the one that came out most recently, Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
No, I haven't, but I will.
That was really interesting, like watching him talk about like finding that posture and why can I not find my DC?
There's a couple of I get master class.
What the fuck is this?
What?
The semi-memorial Matthew Lynn folder of success.
I don't know.
I don't know either, but now I really want to know what's in there. Oh, G.I. Joe. Okay. Yeah, I got really weirded out by what is in here.
You got weirded out by a folder that you made?
Yeah. I do that all the time, though. Yeah. All right. Sorry.
No, I was saying I get masterclass, like a family pass for the family, like each year, and we get together. But Nancy Cartwright did a class on voiceover and like voice acting, which is pretty awesome. That's been on my list of things to watch. And then there was also a kind of 3 types of voice acting, like short one that it did, kind of like character, dubbing, and commercial. Yeah. Anyway, so that's on my list of things I want to watch / think about. So.
Yeah, I don't know that when it comes to that, I kind of maybe this is just you and I, Matt. We were talking about like having certain people like pop on and talking about how they get to certain voices, because I know you like have activation phrases, James, where you were like, oh, this phrase makes me think of this, so then I think you have like a Jesse Ventura one you use.
Articulation, because you have to enunciate, and then you start moving your mouth really big like this, and everything has to be big and moving. Yeah.
And you your Jesse Ventura is based off somebody else's Jesse Ventura, right?
My Jesse Ventura is like all of my voices. I base my voice on someone else interpreting someone else's voice, and that's Ricky Noren. Ricky Noren talking about the former governor of the great state of Minnesota.
And my shitty Jesse Ventura is based off your Jesse Ventura.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
it's like almost all like
it's like a copy of a copy of a copy.
Yeah. 50% of my impressions are, my college friends doing, that, I think I've said that, like a lot of my impressions are like Randy doing something and me doing Randy doing someone.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah. Is Matt frozen just for me?
No, I'm lagging. I got a tab or something causing problems.
Oh, no worries. I just like I like heard you a couple times, but I was like, is that Phantom me just hoping Matt is still there, or is Matt still there?
No.
It's Phantom Matt.
I'm here.
Fear him. Here. Fear and respect him. Yes. Phantom Matt. Phantom Matt. Matt.
Can I see the chat? Or can only you see the chat? Are people chatting?
There's nothing to see here.
Okay.
You're live. Message will start to come in from platforms. Nobody's chatting. So,
are we actually on the platforms?
We are live. We're live.
Oh, Matt, don't do that to me, Matthew. Don't make me throw things, because I will.
We
are either of you listening to be Behind the Bastards at all consistently?
Not regularly, no.
I've gotten to a point where now he's throwing things like every episode. And he threw a case of Perrier. And Sophie, who was the producer, was like, I do not like this. Even the guests were like, I don't like this either. It was like, well, I'm gonna throw something. So yeah, I think he does it to like get out of his frustrations out about the terrible stuff that he's covering, which is generally
that's not a good. I mean, if that's where you're at, stop.
Man, when you cover some of the shit he covers, though, God, and you have to research that.
The psychic damage there, man. Like, don't.
Matt, I love you so much. Sometimes you do turn into the dude. The psychic damage there, man. It's just not. It's not worth it, Dan.
At some point, I mean, I get that that's your career or job or whatever, but shit.
So yeah. So Matthew, did we not write some stuff down for this DC game that I was working on? And did it just get swallowed in Dropbox at some point?
We did write some. We were writing stuff down, yeah.
God damn it! So now I can't find my stuff, but I did come up with a thing. So Beard, I'm going to interrupt you really quickly to get this in.
Okay.
I want to run. First of all, I'm putting together a league of multiversal Justice League people. And I'm definitely going to use Kirk Langstrom from Gods and Monsters as the Batman, which if you have not watched or read the comic version, ooh, it's good. It's so good. Plus we get Riker as Superman. As Hispanic Superman, which is pretty good because he's not Kal-El. He's actually the son of Zod, which is amazing. And the Wonder Woman in that is amazing. That she's a new god and not from Themyscira. Also, we got the Starman from DC 1 Million. But anyway, I want to do something because I just watched another documentary because I can't be stopped about The Prisoner. Another McGoohan, however you say his last name. Long conversation about The Prisoner. And I was thinking, like, who are the spies in DC? So this idea that they're in a like time and space, like, for lack of a better term, like a dead zone, maybe even in the bleed. And these characters,
I can't remember what it was called, but there was a series.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about it.
And it even had like a number 6 analog.
So, like, the Manhunters would be Rover, basically. Master Jail and Lockup would be like your shitty wardens, and then I was thinking of like a Dr. Hugo Strange as the guy, as basically the number 2 to start off with. But your residents would be based; their numbers would be based on their first appearances. So I started pulling characters from all over the place, and I found there's some really interesting like characters, like Kurt Philpotts, the banjo, and I was like, oh yes, please. He's a Captain Marvel enemy who uses the fucking banjo, and I was like, hell yeah. Or Lois from Dark Knights of Steel.
Wait, are these all spies?
They're characters who worked in a spy capacity.
Oh, you got to do the ones from Young Justice. What's his name? Donald Fite, the guy who is the father of Empress. It was like fighting mad. He was part of the Apes, all-purpose enforcement squads. They're not actually apes, but
let me get DC. Yeah. Donald Fite. Oh, it's Fite.
Fite, and then his partner was Ishido Mod, who is Asian, and so they were fighting mad. It's silly, but like it's like my brother loved Young Justice, and they were they were not key characters in there, but
ooh, I fucking misspelled Ishido right the very first time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I like this idea a lot.
Shinsuke. Got Shinsuke in there.
Shinsuke, who's Shinsuke?
Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura.
God, fuck you. I should have known.
You got that Shinsuke Nakamura.
All right, so they're number ones, but I already have King Faraday as a number one, so I can't take them. Because I'm also doing the if they have the same, there can only be that number in one at a time.
Gotcha.
What was that? What was that accent right there? One at a time. All right. So if you can think of other people, though, I thought about putting the Huntress from Young Justice from the cartoon in there because she does technically spy.
You got Detective Chimp in there?
No, because you know what I found out?
Huh. Oh yeah.
I did not know this. When did this shit happen?
I don't know that either. It's some Tom King stuff, I guess.
He showed up in Wonder Woman and dealt with the Sovereign, and the Sovereign tried to have him killed by somebody, and he literally turned into the Spectre. And the villain who was trying to kill him was like, "No, I don't want to be part of this."
Do you have a number 30 yet?
I don't know. I don't have them in order because I was doing it by character. Let's look. I don't see one.
You got to put Rex the Wonder Dog in there. From Green Lantern, number 30.
He's a spy?
Yeah.
I just put Rex the Wonder Dog for a second.
He and Detective Chimp were part of a U.S. government agency called the Bureau of Amplified Animals.
What Earth is he from?
All enhanced animal super operatives.
What Earth is he from? Do you know?
I think he's just from Norway. He showed up in Green Lantern Volume 3, and then he had his own bi-monthly series in the 50s for 7 years.
Holy shit.
Titled Rex the Wonder Dog.
Yeah.
Was
Rex,
he a backup or was he straight up like that was his book?
He made it 46 issues. That's all I can see.
Yeah, he's from New Earth.
Oh,
I don't get the differences between New Earth, Earth Prime, and those.
Yeah, after the cancellation, Rex did not appear again for 18 years until he was reintroduced by writer Steve Englehart in Justice League of America 144 in July 77.
Yeah, Rex pals around with Detective Chimp quite a bit. He showed up in Shadow Pact and other stuff like that.
I don't remember him. Is he verbal or is he just barks and Chimp can understand him?
I think he can talk.
Okay. So you both probably know Wildstorm better than I do. Who are some spy boys in Wildstorm?
I mean, all of the Wildcats are technically, if you want to call them, because it's covert action teams.
Yeah. But, I mean, Lynch is, I think, the biggest one.
John Lynch, Max,
Elijah Snow, John Stone.
Which one's John Lynch?
Lynch was the head of Gen 13 or whatever, the liaison for Gen 13. He was a Team 7 guy, though.
Okay.
But he might be at number 1, I'm thinking. I mean, that's the problem with Wildstorm. Almost all of them are going to be.
Well, because, they kept also, they just kept constantly fucking rebooting Wildstorm.
Holden Carver, Sleeper.
Yeah, Wildcats number 1. Yeah, almost all these guys.
Well, it says his first appearance here is in Team 7, Volume 2, number 0.
Oh.
Maybe that's his oldest one, but he was a Wildcats number 1 dude. If we're still talking about Lynch.
Yeah, I'm looking up John Lynch. He's from Primer.
I mean, there's Miles Craven. He was the Team 7 guy.
there's all. I mean, a lot of the Stormwatch guys were spy type characters.
There's Death Blow, but yeah, like all of these guys are going to be number one.
That's the problem, is trying to find guys who why can't I think, who were like brought in later.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I'm trying to compile a big old list just so there's like
how about number 2? Do you have a number 2?
I should just Lois from Dark Knights of Steel.
I know
she was a legit spy in that book.
Yeah.
I should probably just try to put these in order.
Commander Steel, Spy Smasher. Several Spy Smashers.
What the fuck just happened there?
Yeah.
Man, technology and me are becoming best friends today.
Sounds like it. Ooh, lar.
Ooh, lar. Can you say those again? I'm sorry, my brain. Apparently, I'm not going to be able to do that because Dropbox is like, no, you can't do that. So I'll do it offline. We'll do it offline. See, like even here, Count Crafty and Eve Teschemacher are both number 2, so I have to get rid of one. Lois is the number 2. So I would ask you guys, who's more interesting? Count Crafty, Eva Teschemacher, or Lois from Dark Knights of Steel?
I don't know. I don't know the other 2.
I can't remember who Count Crafty is. He's an Earth 2 guy. I believe he fought the JSA.
I don't Count Crafty at all, but that might be a plus.
Lois is basically Lois from a medieval world, which is interesting in itself. You've got Lois Lane as basically a spy for Themyscira. And then Eva Teschemacher, I might just get rid of because I can't say her name. But it's the one from I believe from the Arrow TV show, because I think that's the world I took her from, which she was a agent for Argus, I want to say. But
she's not the other Miss Teschemacher.
Yeah. But she still worked for Luthor. Yeah. Mr. Luthor. So I think we'll get rid of her. And then because this program sucks penis, it'll kick me to the top again. This thing just... It did. It just kept... Oh my God. I swear I want to throw things so hard right now.
No, we just talked about how that is not a good solve. That's bad.
But look, it just kept... I don't even know where to start now, because all it did was continue to paste stuff that I had stopped wanting to paste. Like repeatedly. I don't understand this. Why?
I mean, I don't mess with Dropbox for reasons, but
and now it's just frozen.
What the solution is?
I'm sorry. I'm just very, very... Oh, shit.
It's okay. The DC database crashed Firefox when I opened like a tab for each member of Teen 7, so...
Oh, yeah. Fucking fandom sucks.
It's so bad.
Did I lose all of... Okay, no, I didn't. All right. I don't know what's going on anymore. Anyway, anyone else you guys can think of who would be a good fit for that before we get back to talking about James stuff?
I'll think about it. I'm sure there's plenty of conversation or plenty of characters out there that work, but I would have to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm gonna freak out here pretty quick. Freak out, man! Because I'm so I want to use, like, I know we talked about this before, like, especially I want to make, like, why are you doing this, Dropbox? Why must you shame me so?
I feel like you need to get the hell out of Dropbox, son.
But the problem is if I try to do this online on my desktop, it's also like a fucking mess. I don't know why this has become such.
Do you have a number 11?
Let me go all the way down here. Hold on. Let me see if I can at least get rid of some of these. Okay, Agent Osprey, but not.
Can you just use the search function?
James? Don't.
All right.
See, what you're doing right now, Travis, is you're talking a bunch of shit.
I'm not talking shit. I'm trying to be helpful.
I heard
all I see on my screen is you scrolling up and down.
Griffin, I've heard there's been lots of boys in lots of houses. Travis, right now what you're doing is you're talking a bunch of shit. All right, let me
try to be helpful.
I did just get rid of another fucking thing I didn't want to. All right, we're just gonna go down.
Sounds great. Doing great.
Don't.
Proud of you.
Don't you dare. I need you on my side, James. I need you now more than ever.
This is me on your side. Hi.
If you leave me now, you take away the biggest part of me, James.
Huh?
He didn't see. That's what really sucks is he didn't even get to hear it, and that makes me sad.
No, I heard it. I just decided to say "huh" in response. If you leave now, you take away the biggest part of me. I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Peter Cetera, under or overrated?
Well, rated.
Hit me with the hard truth.
Chicago. That was not a solo jam.
Hit me with the hard truth though. Where do you guys fall on Peter Cetera?
I don't need any more Peter Cetera.
So you're like very anti Peter Cetera.
If I didn't, it would take several years, I think, of not hearing Peter Cetera before I would hear Peter Cetera and be like, oh yeah.
What about Chicago Transit? What about Chicago Transit Authority?
Same deal.
Same deal.
So my feelings are Peter Cetera was a soundtrack music writer after he left Chicago.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
I mean, that's it. He had like 6 number ones, and I think every single one of them was associated with they were on albums, but they were all associated with songs or with movies. Glory of Love, for Karate Kid Part 2, and apparently he originally wrote that for Rocky 4. So like it was, anyway. So yeah, Glory, Love, The Next Time I Fall, which I think was just maybe that wasn't made a movie. I can't remember. But yeah, I don't know. No, not for me. Chicago, I love Chicago. But I don't understand why. I don't understand why you leave Chicago. Just saying.
I think it was just like I don't think Chicago was staying together as a band though. I think they were kind of also collapsing under their own weight.
Well,
plus I think that time of that type of band was going away.
He got popular and he didn't want to tour anymore, and that's why he made his solo album.
Well, that makes sense.
So I get it. I'm not saying bad, good. Like, you know, if you
good, bad. I'm the guy with the voice.
Yeah, bad, good. I'm gonna take after Phil Collins.
Yeah. I mean, hey, baby.
I just, I don't know.
Dance with the
I'm
One
not
Rock
because Chicago kept playing. They got a new bassist, and I can't remember who. I can't remember where he came from, but it was like another bassist that also sang.
It doubled this shit too.
And can I say that post Cetera Chicago 25 or 64?
That was Peter Cetera.
I know, but they remade it for their next album, and then "Will You Still Love Me" was like the new jam for that after Peter Cetera left. I don't think post Peter Cetera Chicago is pre Peter Cetera Chicago, but you know, he was their vocalist from like 85 to 2016 when I think that they finally called it quits. So
fair enough.
Whatever. I think Peter Cetera in Chicago, not Peter Cetera out of Chicago. That's my thoughts. Those are my thoughts.
Okay. So what was your number real quick? I'm sorry.
My number was 11. Do you have an 11?
I'm not sure, so we're going to put it down. What was it?
It's John Stone, who was a super spy for Stormwatch, which was like the STORM, like all periods watch.
I remember. I want to use Henry Bendix as a villain.
Okay, just saying. Number 11.
Yeah, he's aware of
Warren Ellis, John Castay.
Prime Earth, I believe. Yeah, it would be the same as John Lynch.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the whole shaboopy poopy.
Where did we fall? Oh God, this makes me so mad. I got to figure out where this started to not. It just kept. Oh, I just want to throw things so badly right now.
Does it bother anybody else that Grifter's real name is Willis?
No.
Okay.
Willis is a solid name.
Okay. Grifter's real name is Willis?
Yeah.
Corporal Willis Billy Miller.
That's not Grifter's. His name was Cole Cash.
I think they changed it. That Cole Cash was a alias.
Yeah, he was. There was like they retconned a ton of that when they went back and like started talking about the origins of Team 7 and said that there was like a Team 0 during World War II and that like there's a whole lot of things.
All right. Well, I guess I really don't care.
No.
Well, that's fair. I've got to fix all this. This is so frustrating. Matt, did you have anyone you would like to add?
I will think on it.
Okay. Do we decide Lois or Count Crafty? Oh, Count Crafty's dead. So that would make Lois the new number 2.
Also not terribly interesting from what I can see.
That Count Crafty is not terribly interesting?
Doesn't seem like it to me.
I like the idea of like starting that adventure with like you coming in and Count Crafty's dead. Like you wake up in like his room. So the whole thing I wanted to do with it is do like the classic like prisoner thing. I didn't do any of that. I swear to God. I swear to God. I can't, like I said, I can't even find that Vandal Savage stuff either, which also
you're doing great, Boo Boo. We love you.
Oh God, I'm I'll lose my fucking mind. What
I'm
just happened
for
there?
something.
Where did all that disappeared? All that top stuff disappeared for a second. That's good. That doesn't make me super angry.
What 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 is the reason behind using this versus using like a open source?
I because it's what is available to me in
You have
Dropbox.
a Google account, yeah?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, you just use the Google word processor.
Like, look
Google
at that.
pages or whatever they call it.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh fuck! I just want to break things right now. All right. Anyway, what else, James, did you have to add to your beautiful thoughts here? Your beautiful mind.
Oh, on the DM list
Yeah.
or the creation or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, I don't
So I
know.
guess here's my thing. How do you draw in someone like Matt?
How do I draw
How
on someone like Matt?
Yeah, how do we convince Matt that this is something Matt wants to take
Snacks.
part in? Snacks, 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 snacks,
Um,
snacks.
I don't know. I mean, I guess that's I mean, I think that's a big question, right? Like, is every week of prep school for everybody, and does everybody always have to feel, like they want, like they have to be a part of something if it's not like their jam? I mean, I think that the beauty of doing kind of one offline and one online thing each month is that like some people maybe way more interested in coming and like playing with the cards and like thinking about how we organize something, but may not want to be a part of the like, kind of processing. And some people may just want to process and, hop online and, be a part of that and, think about the back end stuff,
That's
than
a good
that. So
idea,
like,
Sharon.
I would say, using the same kind of rationale is like, how do we get Doug involved? How do we get, anybody
Well, I
else
mean,
involved? But
I
not
think
even
that's
like
far
Doug
more difficult.
specifically. I'm talking about like how do you get different personalities involved
Yeah,
that are like a part of the
I think
success of us running
I
games.
think that the idea of doing it in person is a good way to get someone like Doug involved because that type of thing then becomes very gamified,
Yeah,
which is something where Doug is in.
yeah.
Yeah, did you and I play Taz with Doug?
I
I
don't
played
know if I
Doug and
did.
I
We
played it
talked about
together
this
once,
yesterday, but I don't remember if I did or not.
I think you and Doug and I all played Taz together.
Yeah, I think we did maybe once.
So for those that don't know, there's an the Adventure Zone board game, and it is very silly. In fact, I think Matthew, I think you would absolutely adore it. Um, but it is very much like a game built on prompts.
Hmm.
So you get like a situation, and then you roll some dice, and then you kind of have to deal with the consequence of the dice. So like when Doug and I first played it, the adventure revolved around Doug's mother-in-law and ex-wife trying to kill him over him raising the pets. And by raising, I mean whenever their pets would die, he would bring them back because he was a necromancer. So they had all these undead pets that they wanted to be gone. And the cards like change the situation and add new. They move the plot along,
Okay.
and that is not a game Doug would want to play because Doug does not like. Doug's like Cassandra. Doug likes games that where there is a definitive beginning, middle, and end, and there is combat, and everything is built upon like very structured stuff. He does not like abstraction. As far as like, it's not that he can't do it; he doesn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
which is a game that's just abstraction. It's just a storytelling game. You're telling a story together, and then there's it's D&D for not D&D. It's like, yeah, anyway. um he dug that a lot because it was goofy. And I think you can draw someone in like Doug into a game, or into a storytelling type situation if there's going to be dice rolled and there's going to be like some randomization, and um, he's going to be able to have fun. um, you know I think that's how you involve like Doug, because like Doug loves core space.
Yeah.
Doug loves core space. Doug one of Doug's crew tried to run through a plasti steel or a plasti window on core space to escape getting killed, and as he rolled so bad, his character bounced off the window. And he still brings it up because it was so fucking funny. He's doing this like John Wick escape the singularity robots, and he runs and he's like, I'm gonna dive through this window and I'll come up on the other side shooting. And I was like, all right, man, we got to roll for it. And he rolls like the worst roll possible. And it's just like, I jump through the window and I literally just smash against it and I slow squeegee fall down it. And it was fucking hilarious. And he still talks about that because that's a game that's it's much like Frostgrave and some of those other tabletop games now, those skirmish games that are built to be storytelling skirmish games, not like I win, skirmish games. Like in that game, his ship got blown up, and he had to beg me to come pick him up. And I was like, "Oh, I will come pick you up, but you give me half the loot that you got out of this, and I will come pick your crew up, so they don't get killed by space Terminators." And it was very, very, very fun because of those types of situations. So I could see him getting into a deck building, not a deck building, but in a world building thing. But there'd have to be some type of I guess like some type of randomizer involved.
Yeah.
Or, the other way you could do it, honestly, is get him to be the facilitator because fuck, he loves being the facilitator.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at every time we play like Hellboy or Hero Quest or anything like that. He's like, I don't want to play, I want to run. Which is so weird for a guy who doesn't want to run D&D, but he always wants to run those games. And I think it's because the rules are super tight. It's like, this is what you can do and this is what you can't do, as opposed to like D&D where it's like, well, I guess. I guess. I think that appeals more to his very logical brain. So I don't know. It's a long way around me saying maybe. But I think why I say Matt is because Matt is a guy who's built on that abstraction thought process. Matt, you do really well on those. I know you won't give yourself credit and admit it, but you do. You're a very, very, very good abstract thinker. So, and you're very creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just finding the
carving out time. Here's my thing, but I would say
for me, it's figuring out, it's time.
So here's my thing. I would say is maybe we do this on Saturday mornings. A lot of us are already getting together. And it's one of those things is if you can make it, you can make it. If you can't make it, you can't make it. And James, you and I would just be basically the backbone, which is kind of where we're at with games anyway. But we leave it as a very open, come as you are. I don't know the next line of that Nirvana song.
Yeah.
So do we want to put that down as a thing?
Sure. Yeah, I think so.
All right. So let's put it up here, and then I'm assuming you will put this out into the world.
I will put it out into the world.
Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. What do we want to put it on a particular day of the month?
I want to look at my schedule, and I think that I think it would be easiest to be like, the second Saturday or the like, just, like look at, like when we have Greta and when we don't have Greta, so that I'm not, double dipping and going late and, missing stuff.
Yeah.
But I'll figure that out. I'll look at the schedule now and see kind of where we're at.
Okay. And I still, so along with that, Matt, along with trying to get you to do stuff you don't want to do or don't have time for, I do want to start playing board games and stuff again.
Yeah.
And I do want to do Frostgrave, and I do want to do We Built This City on Blood and Gold.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to talk to Doug to figure out a way to like maybe record some of it and then chop it up.
Yeah, I think to me, I am also suggesting this because to a certain extent, the streaming is less accessible to me in some ways, when I think about it, just on a weekly, daily type of thing. Like I don't think that we collectively have a strategy to produce regular content on regular days that would precipitate the channel being like taking off, and so I think that the real question in all of this is like, is that a goal, or is this just like for our edification, or is this as a means of plugging gaps during the extra life weekend, so that we can do something during the summer and then not have to do maybe each of us do one big game during extra life, and then we like do replays of this, and that's maybe not our big time to fundraise, because I think that that's the other challenge too, is just like when we do this, how we do this, it's a lot harder, not necessarily having a family, but being a full-time faculty and trying to do that long weekend, because there's only so many people that kind of prop up the weekend,
yeah. Oh no, I hear you. I have to take at least that Monday off, because otherwise,
and I just don't have that.
You don't have that luxury, and and again, it's not meant to be. It's not meant to be like feel bad about not being a part of this, whoever.
Yeah, but the when there's only so much like, tech support too, if like.
But the reality is, you and I basically do like the heavy lifting on that weekend.
Yeah. And Zach and Christy. I mean, I think the last couple of years with
Zach and Christy are like a team, but a team apart. Let's be honest. They do their own thing. It just happens to run parallel to what we do.
Christy will play a lot more social media than anybody else.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing too. Christy plays in games that aren't Zach's games. Christy is kind of the linchpin.
Yeah.
But I think Colin runs stuff too. And Colin ran more games, I think, than he usually does this last year. But by and large, for 10 years, it's been you and me, baby. And the last 3 years, it's also been David. But again, David runs
parallel. He does his own thing.
So yeah, David's like Zach. He runs parallel, which is good. It's cool to have like all this stuff going on parallel.
Yeah.
But David and Zach aren't taking stuff off you and I's plate.
Yeah. I felt really bad. I saw Matt, my friend's husband, Courtney's husband, that like they ran the like Call of Duty last year.
Mm-hmm.
And like they split off to be their own team this year. And he was like, I was like, why would we do this? He was so upset about it. It was like him and 2 or 3 other people that were like really kind of pissed off at the rest of the people for like wanting to do their own team instead of just like, being a part of the team and getting more exposure, and raising more money. And he's like, I don't know if we're going to do it with them or if we're just going to do our own thing and come back next year. Cause he's like, because, when people got busy, there was some people that were, only streaming for an hour through the entire weekend,
Yeah.
And he's like, so all that other time, it was like, I put on Known World United, when I wasn't streaming, but like everybody else is like, if we were playing when you guys weren't playing, like we could have filled a gap too. And so I just wanted to share that too, because like Matt was just like, I don't understand why, not Matt, but other Matt,
So. Yeah, I think also you've mentioned this before, doing more video game stuff.
Yeah. I think, I think we should do video games in November, honestly. And we should do like a big gaming thing during the summer when they do their board game thing. So,
and this is something that I'm going to try to do for stepping stone is I want to do a 1 day like thing.
Yeah.
To raise money for the place where I work,
Yeah.
for charity for folks who are currently in houselessness. I know we talked about that before, and Darren has asked, and maybe we can do something in spring, because Darren, he volunteers for a charity that is trafficked kids.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to do some of those things that maybe aren't Extra Life and just do them in tiny bits.
Yeah.
To be able to do little things that are more local, like that aren't nationalized, but are local, purely local. And I don't know if Hess is seeing this or will see it, but he has also been like, I want to do like 48 hours of this. And I'm like, you're gonna crash so hard. But I think
hours. I tried doing 25. I told him I only made it 22. So
yeah, I mean, you and I were doing that like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But if I tried to do that now, I would die. Like I wouldn't like figuratively die. I think I would literally die. But even utilizing someone, in giving someone like the go ahead, you'll fucking go for it. But let's give you some things to back up so you have something recorded so we can then give you a couple hours to rest, but also being like, if you want to do this, you had better be reliable.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're basically loaning you a platform, you better be able to follow through on it. It can't be it's the same thing we do with anything. It's like, if you want to be a part of stuff, we're more than happy to have you, but like, don't flake. So yeah, I'm just thinking like, what are some things we can do in the meantime, to kind of like fill that backlog up.
Yeah.
And like I said, I really want Matt to do a cribs with his toy room. I really want to see like Matt walking down the stairs of his house and being like, "Yo, I heard you like toys."
I still have her nice ass camera.
I would love to see that. I mean, I think that would be fucking amazing. Or to do like we talked about this last time, Beard. I don't think you were here. Having people come on and do and record how to play a game.
Yeah.
Like asking Duke to do how to play Colt.
Yeah.
And then having one of us on with him to basically ask questions, to be the player who says, I don't know how to do this. Or to do not just Colt, but maybe do anyone can wear the cape, because that game is fucking awesome. And I'd never heard of it. But to have somebody walk through and do a couple episodes, basically, of maybe calling it walkthrough or something like that. But think about how many games that we have been introduced to by someone who just says, "Hey, I got this cool thing."
Yeah.
And recording some of those and then just being able to throw them on. I don't know, just ideas. We just got to solidify some of them. But this I think makes total sense. And I don't think is completely unachievable with very little work. All right. Well, we've been talking for an hour. And hopefully I didn't just everyone got real quiet, which always concerns me.
No.
It usually makes me feel like I've said something that has upset people.
No.
I was listening and I was letting you finish.
Let me finish. Can I finish, Larry? Can I finish?
We talked about this yesterday. Sometimes you just want to let someone process the whole thing. I think that this is we're in this big transition point, and I think that some of the things that we do, we want to keep doing them, and we want to do some new things, and we want to feel a little bit of that old time magic and do some things that we haven't done in a while, and got to figure out how to do that. I think it's a different it's a different playing field than it was pre-pandemic.
Also, did you boys see my attempt at some early diorama pictures
Oh,
I did. I got to dig into it a little bit more, but yes.
So I do want help with this, but I want to be able to like rough cut some of that sandy board or sandy map, and then rough cut in some of the stone and like some of the brick, make it look old, and I have like some grass too. In order to like make that look like a transition from the dark side of Eternia into the light side of Eternia. But anyway, yeah. I started fiddling with it yesterday. And
nice.
Yeah. I'd like to have it be something that then I can switch out every so often as well.
Yeah.
I almost put the Zodiac in the chains on Snake Mountain. But instead I used Skeletor because then I put Skeleton up there with his mama on the top. Holding the Shaper's staff. Which then Miss JL put, he's such a mama's boy.
Yeah.
Skeleton's a mama's boy. Also, Miss JL on Instagram, if you're not following her, you should be, because she is making an entire old school Silver Age Legion of superheroes in like Barbie.
I think she just finished them up, yeah.
God damn, they're beautiful. That is such a cool thing. Yeah, I don't know if she's finished, but she's definitely getting there. But she had a team shot, but then she just put out a shot of was it Timberwolf and somebody else, Matt?
Princess Projecta and Timberwolf.
Yeah. No, and I can't remember the guy who gets big in the Legion. It's not, is it Leviathan?
Colossal Boy.
I can never remember his. I have a problem. I love the Legion, but there's so many different iterations and so many different members. Because like yes. I was reading the Legion when Gates was a member.
Sure.
So like I have a couple collections, like the hardback DC collections of the Silver Age Legion, and they're very cool. They're just so like I just like the Silver Age are so wonky, which gives me an idea. Matt, how would you feel about a DC showcase game where the PCs are in the Silver Age, just pure Silver Age?
I mean, that could be fun. Yeah, I do. My favorite Colossal Boy version, by the way, is the one where everybody on his planet is just like 20 feet tall all the time, and his power is actually that he can
get small. I also do really love that. What if we called this Legion? Not Legion. This throwback to Silver Age. We just called this the 3-parter Back to the 50s.
Well, 60s, wouldn't it be? But yeah, I guess you could 50s of DC. Yeah.
Until I have a better name.
You should call it. Well, what are you calling? What's your other? Is your other game called DC Showcase?
Every miniseries is called DC Showcase Presents.
Okay.
And then it's got a store. Then that's a build. So the one that I'm working on for the Vandal Savage thing is called Time in the World Enough, which is based upon a story called The World Enough in Time.
Yeah.
Something like that. This one, like with the prisoner motif, is going to be called Who Came In From the Cold, rather than the spy who came in from the cold.
Yeah.
And the first one I did was, Matt, do you remember what that was called? Oh, for the man who whatever happened to the man who lost everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to like kind of cheat them off of like old stuff.
Yeah.
And one thing, I would say is, so Beard, if you want to play in these, because it's based off, I'm using, lasers and feelings hack.
Yeah.
The only thing I've told the three original players, is they get to decide every game what version of themselves they're playing from the multiverse.
Gotcha.
But everybody else gets to choose like who they are. They can play, you can make a guy up, or you could say like, I'm going to be, a Kal-El from a world with Red Sun, somewhere in the multiverse, who was like a, Doc Savage-esque figure. And then, as you get under a yellow sun, you would just get stronger and stronger and stronger. You're trying to make it something where people can come in and say, well, I really like this DC character or this archetype. I would like to play that.
Yeah.
And could be a temporary member unless they want to play a lot of the Outsiders, which is basically what the PCs are. Except for by Outsiders, they are literal outsiders. Which also makes me want to make a team of villains called the Insiders, because wasn't that during Jeff Johns' run on Teen Titans? And I can't remember who was writing the Outsiders at that point. There was a team of villains called the Insiders.
I think that you should do that, but it only should be DC villains that can shrink and be inside of you.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, I know.
I was watching one of those badly dubbed cartoons of the old DC like Super Friends stuff.
Yeah.
And they were interviewing Plastic Man to join.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, this sounds great. This guy is awesome. And can you pass a criminal background study? He's like, yeah, I can. And Batman pulls Superman aside and he's like, we can't take this guy. And he's like, well, why not? And he's like, because he could literally do anything. Like, he's dangerous. And Superman's like, well, I would just heat ray vision him into a puddle. And he's like, no. He could make himself like a snake and he could go right into your butthole. And he was like, whoa. The human body has like 4 orifices, Batman. Why would you choose my butthole right off the bat? He's like, cuz he's insane. He's sick. He's twisted. So in the end, Superman basically is like, we're taking him. Batman's like, well, fuck you when you get a plastic man in your butthole. And then Plastic Man's like, well, I did kind of lie on my application. I do have a criminal history. I did do some jaywalking, and Superman loses his fucking mind. And he's like, you're not a member of the League, all this stuff. And then as he was leaving, something happens, and Aquaman's like, we just need a guy who can turn into a giant spring. And everyone turns and looks at Superman, and Batman goes, you better watch your butthole. And that's how it ended. I was like, okay, well, that's fucked up and funny. Yeah. So yeah, when I think of little guys, I think of the whole. Wasn't there something where someone climbed in someone's butthole and blew them up? Because all I can ever think of is the Morrison thing where Green Arrow shoots Adam on Arrow at Darkseid and then he flies.
I was gonna say that was you're thinking of The Boys.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely did that at some point in The Boys.
Not surprising. Because all I think of is the Rock of Ages story where Adam stomps on Darkseid's brain. Also a weird, disturbing parallel to the story where Gene Loring stomps on Sue Dibney's brain.
Yeah.
Which is weird that those two stories both involve the Atom. Yeah. Better not to think of. What was that story called? Identity Crisis. That's what it was.
Identity Crisis, yes.
All right. Matthew, where can people find you on the internet?
I'm here almost every Sunday. I'm on Instagram, HypnoHustlers_customs. I'm on Blue Sky, and that's about it right now. Oh, and then every other Tuesday I'm on the Dave Winter channel. I don't know when the next one that I'll be on will be, probably the week after this coming Tuesday, because I've got stuff going on this coming Tuesday.
Didn't Dave just do a big thing on his channel?
He had a mini marathon
week before Christmas.
Nice.
Popped on there, but I was very out of it. So
I popped on as well, and I read some copy, and it was great.
That's right, you did read copy.
It was dumb. Dumb and great.
Beardley, where can people find you? You beautiful, beautiful man.
You can also find me on Blue Sky. suppose if you really want to find me on Instagram, you can. I was recently told that my stories are just a big bummer, and I said,
"Really? Who told you that?"
I said, "Hey, man, the world's a big bummer." So, fun pictures, bummer stories, man. I mean, people got to know. None of this is stopping anytime soon, and it's not going to for the next 4 years. So, be informed or get steamrolled. You can be happy and do good in the world, and still make sure that your friends and family can at least get micro doses of everything that's out there, in case they find themselves in a position to be helpful. So, help everybody.
Yeah, or remind people like about Social Security. Well, every time you hear somebody say, "Well, we got to cut Social Security," really? Because Social Security isn't funded by the government.
Also, fuck sheets forever. Wow, off the life.
Drawing a hard line in the sand. No, but seriously, for real. If
Also,
you hear any stupid motherfucker, oh nice. Where'd you get that sweet shirt?
From you dumbass. I like wearing gifts that Ben gives me on this show and seeing if he notices. I got it from you, Dad. I got it from you. D&D Papa give me good gifts.
Anyway, yeah. Did you know about that? About Social Security? Are you both aware of that? That the government does not fund Social Security, and that the reason they want to cut it is because then they can steal from it. That currently Social Security is completely financially viable until 2033. At that point, if we don't do something like raise the federal income tax, Social Security people on Social Security will take a 17% across the board cut.
Yeah.
But it remains solvent.
Yeah.
The reason they want to touch it is because once they can touch it and they can cut it, it's not a cut. They want to steal from it.
Yeah.
It's not a federal program that takes money from the budget. They're lying to you, man. They're lying to you. So if you hear that shit from anybody, say, you should probably look into that. Like that's not how Social Security works. So yeah. Anyway, that really pisses me off when I hear, because I did get to hear about that. This
same thing with Planned Parenthood. Same thing with public television.
Over Christmas break, I guess Christmas, I got to hear about that from my drunk brother-in-law, who was fucking smashed. I don't think I told you guys this. Real quick, he talked shit to my sister-in-law, and she got so mad because he would not stop calling her old and calling her grandma, that she was ready to go over there and punch him in the fucking mouth. And he thought he was so funny because he was fucking wasted, that I had to stand up and go, "Hey man, stop fucking talking."
Yeah.
Like, no one is laughing except for you, and that's not a good sign, dude. Just stop. Wow, just joking. And I was like, well, it won't be funny when she whoops your ass. Well, I'll fuck her up. And I was like, if you lay a hand on her,
we will all lay hands on you.
I think you know where this is going. And he was like, and he went into the garage. So for a while, and slammed a bunch of whiskey, and then came out and fucking fell asleep. Even his wife, who generally tolerates his bullshit, was like, shut the fuck up. Welcome to an uncomfortable ass Christmas. I really wish they would ban booze during Christmas over there. So, or most holidays. Hi, puppies. That was a Huey noise. Hi, Huey.
Hey, you hear Uncle Bang?
Hi, buddy.
You do.
Hi, Ruby.
He's just sitting here. Yes.
Hi, buddy.
Yes, we'll go in a minute.
Oh, I missed him so much.
Wait, Uncle Ben misses you. Yeah, we'll go see him soon. Yeah.
You come see me today?
Do you want me to bring them over? I'll see how Sarah's doing, and
because I already got to vacuum this basement, so I might as well get dog hair and dandruff over. Anyway, you can find me here at times I don't remember. Second Monday of the month is Star Wars, so that will be, what's the date on that bad boy? 13th, and then the 20th will be Chaos Scar, and I'm hoping the 27th will be DC.
Will be what?
DC showcase for 3 months. But that's the goal. Anyway, cool, thank you for hanging out, James. After we go offline, I need to talk to you for a second. Matt, you can hang out. Matt, your fucking camera works.
What do you mean?
It didn't work like most of the episode. You were just, it was just a Matt face.
Yeah.
Matt face.
Oh yeah.
You looked good. Like if that was me, it would have been a locked in screen.
Like nice icon. Like good.
Yeah, it was a good icon picture. It was hella good.
Like if I had to like pick a gestalt of Matt, that would be it. Maybe with like because it just has like the kind of crown of figures behind you. It's nice.
A crown of figures. He sits upon a broken throne with a crown of figures. He is Matt. All right. You can find us here next Sunday. Hopefully we'll be talking about something. I don't know what we'll be prepping for because I'm good for Star Wars right now, and
I can prep Seasong.
Perfect.
Oh,
Beard will be here prepping. I will hopefully be me reaching my finger out through that screen, touching you, baby.
Touching you.
Hopefully, I'll get some DC stuff done in the interim because I can't find where I put that other DC file.
Yeah, get some DC stuff done. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for bearing with us while we figure this new format out. This new program we're using. All right. Kiss my grits. Bye.